Buying a house can be overwhelming. Let me break it down for you step by step to make it very easy for you and your family. First step in the process is going to be getting that pre-approval letter. Okay, that is a very important step because you want to know how much you can afford and how much you want to afford. Just because you can be pre-approved for a $500,000 house doesn't necessarily mean then you want that $500,000 house payment. You want to get your financial documents in order, your taxes, your income statements, all of those things that are going to be needed. You want to check your credit scores. And if there's improvement, make those improvements that are needed. Pay off some things, do some things that way, get your debt to income ratios correct. Then talk to your local lender. Okay, if you need lenders, I will be able to help you out, get you in touch with some excellent lenders to get you taken care of. And then just going through and starting that process with that lender of choice. Once you start that process, they're going to ask you for everything, debt to income ratios, credit scores, and all that stuff. They're going to dig deep into everything, but that's okay. When you get to the closing table, no, I forgot to tell you that.
I forgot.
Comes up. So disclosing everything to them, making sure you have that, getting a solid pre-approval letter is your step number one. Once you've got that pre-approval, your next step is finding the right home. That's where your trusted real estate agent comes involved. And so what that looks like, you have your pre-approval letter. We're going to call that your golden ticket. I want to know how much you're approved for so that way we're not going above that number. Because again, this is where that champagne taste on a beer budget comes into play. I want to make sure that you are taken care of and making sure that we're not looking at $500,000 houses if you can only afford $300,000. Now, our next thing that I'm going to talk to you about is I want to know your wants and needs. Do you need a 5-bedroom house because you have 3 kids and you want a guest room? Do you need 2 bathrooms, 3 bathrooms because you have 4 kids and need some stuff there, right? Do you need that big space because you've got big dogs? Do you want that extra acreage? Do you want that fireplace? We're going to talk about every aspect of what that looks like for you. Having those wants and needs, getting dialed in exactly what you want and need is going to be incredibly important. So then we go find your perfect house. We're going to get you into that spot and making sure that we are there and ready to act quickly. That's why you do your pre-approval. That's why you do your wants and needs list to make sure we are ready to act quickly, because the next thing on our list is going to be making that offer. We're going to talk about what does your closing date look like? What do your closing costs look like? What is your estimated payment? How are we going to negotiate and make this offer the best for you and for your family, and to make sure that we get your best term from the seller? Do we need closing costs? Do we need the closing date? Do we want that pink sofa in the living room because your kids love it? I don't know. Whatever it may be, right? We want to make sure that we are making those best offers and making sure that we get you taken care of in that piece of it. Our next step after we've got the house under contract is the inspections and the appraisal. These kind of happen about the same time. So we've got the house under contract, right? We've agreed to all initial terms. Now we have what's called an inspection period. In that 10 to 15 day window, what I'm going to do for you is we're going to hire a whole house inspector, a plumbing, a HVAC, sewer line, termite, radon, whatever inspector that is needed or that we feel is needed. We're going to do a deep dive into this home by licensed professionals because we want to make sure you are making an educated decision. I think the biggest disclosure for home inspections is that you're going to find 30 pages of stuff that he's going to put on there. Don't be overwhelmed by that. I promise you, I've had the worst of it because the house that I bought for myself had termites, had radon, fireplace failed, there's chipped and peeling paint. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Sewer line. All of those things happened to my house, but I was like, okay, now I know. Let's go back to them and let's renegotiate with what we have with the resolution, whether it be price, whether it be terms or anything else that comes with that. Because then the next thing that's going to happen is we get that to the appraiser, and that appraisal is going to be happening as well. Your final step of the deal is closing that deal out. And I promise you, this is not as easy as it sounds. They're going to make sure that you are still employed. They're going to make sure that you didn't take on any new debt right before we close, like a day or two before we close. They're going to go through and do all of this stuff. We want to make sure you have the right documentation. We do a scheduled final walkthrough to make sure the sellers did what they said they were going to do. We're going to make sure that you bring all necessary documentations, ID, checks, all of that information, so all of that stuff shows up. And then you also are going to be signing the closing documents and the closing disclosures, making sure all the money's transferring hand correctly. It is a fun day if you hire the right real estate professional.
Do you know who it is?
I promise you, you will enjoy it, and it will be a good and very seamless and very easy transition to getting you your new home. That is my 30,000 foot view of the buying process step-by-step guide. So again, if you have found this information helpful, please go and hit that subscribe button. Go and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content, and give us that thumbs up because it does help us grow our self-esteem. If you are interested in my first-time home buyer's roadmap, please comment buyer's guide below and we'll get that sent over to you right away. As always, if you know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, invest, or anything real estate related, I'm here to help. I want to make sure to get you taken care of. My phone number is 785-477-5485. That is my personal cell phone number. My email is kyle@homesforsalemhk.com. But thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll talk to you later.